What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. And I gotta tell you, there are very few things that take my breath away, but today, especially receiving this item, this is very special and it really gave me an emotional reaction to this piece. Regardless of what genre you're into, whether it's sci-fi, whether it's fantasy, you always have a very visceral response to a weapon or something that's used that becomes really iconic. Whether it's Han Solo's blaster, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, or Mjolnir, or perhaps even Conan's sword. In the great annals of history, these have become icons, and they transcend just an object. And now we can add another one to the annals of great weaponry, and it's without a doubt the God Killer. So today I'm very privileged, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to review Factory Entertainment's Wonder Woman's God Killer Sword limited edition replica. Let's take a closer look. Although we're starting to appreciate it now, 2017 was a pivotal year for women in film, and I suspect those little girls that were watching Wonder Woman for the first time saw something inside of them that said that they can be powerful too, and when they grow up, a couple years from now, will really understand the cultural significance of this film. One of the reasons that this piece is so wonderful is that you don't necessarily have to be into DC Comics or comics in general to appreciate it. If you are somebody who is into swords and those kind of collectibles, this is absolutely exquisite, guys. This is not a cheap replica, and especially for this price point, this is actually a sword. Take a look at the craftsmanship here, guys. The butt looks absolutely incredible, especially the handle. There's a lot of detail here. The wash is exquisite. So much detail, especially in the hilt. I used to think that the hilt was actually two stallions coming together and meeting inside of the blade, but it's not. They're actually two serpents, and they're exquisitely sculpted, guys. The blade itself is truly breathtaking, and what I like is the contrast between the gold hilt and the smoothness of that blade. It does run about 30 inches, so like I said, this is a legitimate sword, guys. They do provide you with a little butt at the end so that you don't cut yourself, because this is a pretty sharp object. Overall, the design of this I loved in the film, but most importantly, when you see a replica like this, which is such high quality, you really get a sense for the beauty of this piece, and it does make a nice centerpiece. Now I know that some of you saw the Made in China sticker there, and you're probably going to blow up the comments section, but it doesn't mean that just because it was manufactured there that it's any less detailed. The glyphs on this sword alone are absolutely breathtaking. They're etched, or to use their terminology, forged into the sword in such a way that they're slightly raised. And another great thing about this is that if you turn the sword in certain angles in the light, it actually glows a slight purple, bluish, almost violet, and it looks amazing. I wish I can show you here, but I have too much light on it. As I mentioned before, guys, this is not a toy, this is a high-end replica, and essentially it's a sword. So I wouldn't let your kids play with this. As you can see, the edge of this blade is pretty sharp, and I imagine if you ever had a situation where you need to sharpen this sword, you can actually do it. Adding to the overall beauty of this blade is the fact that it has slight imperfections and little notches all over the place, particularly on the smooth side of the actual blade. It's 30 inches of absolute beauty, guys. This is magnificently done. Now, here's where I do run into a little bit of problem with this piece. Now, it does provide you with a plaque in which you can hang the sword, and I emphasize the fact that you can only hang this sword on the wall. It's such a shame that they didn't provide a base so that you can stand it vertically, which I think was a missed opportunity. Nevertheless, it is incredibly ornate, and it looks fantastic. As I mentioned before, this piece is incredibly limited, and there is some information on the reverse side of the plaque. Now, again, it's such a shame that you can't actually see this because you have it mounted on the wall. It has that beautiful Wonder Woman symbol, very ornate overall, the DC logo and the Warner Brothers, and it gives you the number of the edition. Mine is 602. Personally, I think that this overall piece would have benefited from a certificate of authenticity that you can actually hang or display along with the piece. The only other accessories that they give you is the wall mounting bracket, so to speak, which, I mean, I'm using that term loosely. They just gave you some screws, essentially. Guys, this is an obvious one, and it really goes without saying, but I have to say this for the archives. It is an instant holy grail piece. If you have an opportunity to get this, get it immediately. Because of its limited edition, it is going to sell out quickly, and as a matter of fact, I think it's sold out in most places right now. And because of that, I really gotta thank the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles for sending this wonderful piece over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Factory Entertainment's Wonder Woman God Killer Sword Limited Edition Replica. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.